Welcome back, friends. Miss Dempsey here for day 2 of reading The Moon by Martha E.H. Russet. In our last lesson, we heard the nonfiction book The Moon and learned some key vocabulary and wondered about the moon. Here's our chart from yesterday. Things we wonder about the moon. Some of the things we wondered were, does the moon make light? And we learned that the light from the moon is actually a reflection of the light from the sun. We also were wondering, can anything grow on the moon? Our book didn't give us any evidence. We'll look closer today and see if we can find out. What is the moon made of? Our book told us that it was made of rocks and dust. Some other things we were wondering about included, why is the sky always black on the moon? And is there water on the moon? What is something you are wondering about the moon? In the packet of emails, you might have a paper that looks like this, where you can draw a picture and write about what you're wondering. If not, you can use just a plain piece of white paper. Miss Dempsey is wondering if the moon always travels in the same direction around the Earth. Today, we're going to be using some text features to figure out the answers to what we're wondering. The Moon is a nonfiction text. I'd like you to recall that nonfiction books often have text features that give the reader extra information. Today, we will see if any of these text features help us to answer some of the things that we're still wondering. But first, let's review our text features. Text features. Pictures or photographs. Pictures or photographs help the reader to see what something looks like. Table of contents. A table of contents is a page that tells the reader where they'll find information in a story. Heading. A heading is like a mini title that tells the reader what a page or some pages will be about. Label. Labels are words that are used to name parts of a diagram, photograph, or chart. Diagram. A diagram is a drawing that shows the parts of something or how something works. Glossary. A glossary is a page usually located at the end of a nonfiction text that explains the meaning of keywords. Our text, The Moon, contains a number of helpful diagrams. Let's check them out. This part of the text tells the reader how the moon glows. Here's a diagram. I see the sun, the moon, and the earth. The moon reflects the sun's light to earth. The sunlit part of the moon seems to glow. This diagram is helping me to understand this part of the text. It helps me to understand because the arrows are showing how the light travels. I see the light starting at the sun, traveling to the moon, and bouncing back to Earth. Here's another diagram. Look carefully at this diagram as I read the page. What is the moon? The moon is Earth's satellite. It moves around Earth once every 28 days. The same side of the moon always faces Earth. How does this diagram or picture help you understand the part we just read? The diagram helps me see how the moon moves around Earth. I can tell it always moves in the same direction. I can see that the same side of the moon is facing the Earth each time. Hey, that diagram helped me answer something I'm wondering. Remember how Miss Dempsey was wondering if the moon always traveled in the same direction? That diagram showed us that it does. That gives me an idea for an activity. Take out a piece of paper, and I'll show you what it is. For our activity, you're going to need a piece of paper. It could honestly be a half a piece of paper. For the first step, draw 2 circles on your paper. Next, color them in. Once you've colored in your circles, cut them out. Then use some of your scrap to cut out a rectangle strip. When you have all your pieces, it's time to assemble. Put a little glue at the top end of the strip. Glue your moon to the end, like so. Next, you're going to take a brass pin. I don't have one, so I'm going to use a paper clip. And you're going to clip it behind the Earth in the middle. And there we go, a mini model of how the moon travels around the Earth. It goes in the same direction with the same side of the moon facing the Earth the whole time, just like in our diagram. Wow, those diagrams sure do give the reader a lot of information. They really helped me to picture what was going on in the story. I have another text feature I'd like to introduce to you. Our new text feature is called an index. An index, like a glossary, is often found at the end of a book. It's an alphabetical list of important topics covered in a book with the page numbers of where you can find that information. Let's check out the index from our book, The Moon, and see if we can find more information. Here's our index. It's an alphabetical list of important topics, and the page numbers are listed afterwards. Let's see some of the topics that are covered in the moon. Craters, page 19. Day, page 7. Dust, page 21. Earth, pages 5, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, and 21. When there's more numbers listed, it means that that topic is covered on many pages. East, page 15. Glowing, page 9. Light, page 9. Night, pages 5 and 7. Rocks, 21. Satellite, 13. Shape, 11. Size, 17. Sun, 9. Surface, 19. West, 15. After reading the topics, do any of them jump out at you as interesting that you might want to go back to? Miss Dempsey noticed that on page 15, they talk about east and west. I want to see what that has to do with our story, The Moon. Here we are, page 15. Notice there's another diagram. Look carefully at this diagram as I read this page. Earth spins once each day. The moon looks like it moves from east to west as Earth spins. East and west were the words that we were looking for. The moon looks like it moves from east to west as it spins. I'm able to see from this diagram that because the Earth is also moving and spinning, that the moon just appears to be moving. Let's go back to our index and check out another page. Another topic of interest I have is the size of the moon. We can find that information on page 17. Here we are, page 17. And look, another diagram. Look carefully at our picture as I read. The moon is much smaller than Earth. About 50 moons could fit inside Earth. And there's the Earth, and moon is depicted much smaller. Our illustration here is helping me see that size difference. Thank you for joining me today in reading The Moon and exploring some more text features. Happy reading! Until next time, see you soon.